there's so many other different ways that God blesses you other than your meal. I mean, in a given day, we have so much, yet a lot of the time we think that we're the ones doing it.
Right.
And it's not true. It's God doing it, and He has some strange ways of getting your attention if you don't pay attention to Him, doesn't He, babe?
He sure does. And He'll crack you up even with His hilariousness.
Let me think of some ways that God got my attention. Oh my God, babe. Man.
You almost lost your whole damn life and your family.
I lost everything.
And you almost died.
Yeah.
And that was just in the last few years.
Yeah, it's been crazy. You know, if you don't pay attention to God, He's going to really shake things up in your life. He's going to shake every single thing up until you give Him some kind of glory.
At the very least, acknowledge Him.
Yeah. And say, God.
You know, like we were saying when we were coming up here, the, what did you say? You said God had us shaking like rag dolls, just like with limp arms and limp heads and limp legs, just shaking. And it was like everything that was stuck to us that didn't glorify Him shook loose.
No better way to put it, man, than that. For sure. And that's why Unshakable is the perfect name for our Facebook page. You know, Unshakable Love, because it's like our relationship. It got shaken so hard, but yet
I really didn't think we were gonna make it, baby.
no, who did? I mean, but we did make it, and because after the shakeup, only love remained, and that was just each other.
And we found something so incredible that we didn't even know we didn't have, which was unconditional love for each other. We figured out how to do that.
Yeah.
Thanks to Pete.
Yeah, and
what was Pete's last name?
I mean, it escapes me right now, but
thank you, Pete.
You know, once we opened up to each other and told each other everything, you know, then suddenly it was like we were beginning again, like when we first met, and it was so awesome that God can do that, you know. That's why
God gave us back everything that we lost.
Yes.
And then
and it's like, it's almost like I'm thankful for the shake-up.
I'm thankful for the shake-up.
Because it's like we came back so much more powerful, our relationship. And that's what I think about God. His marriage to the Christian, he's communicating, but the Christian's not communicating back in the marriage. And I'm sure it's frustrating God, and that's why he's gonna shake up your life.
You know, I watched that show, that Married at First Sight, right? And on that show, on one of the episodes I watched today, they there's this couple that the husband really struggles with anxiety, and you can see that, and like he has a sincere heart, but he's really, there are things that bother him, and he just can't talk when he's upset. And you know, she learned really early on to give him a little space, but now it's starting to hurt her feelings that when he's not talking to her, and that's how God feels.
Wow, that is such a good point. It's exactly right, because like if me and you, like if one of us wasn't talking to each other, it would be like, what's going on? Are you okay? You know?
And then if you still don't talk, now I'm like, no, you have to tell me.
Yeah.
Like, you have to stop that. This is ridiculous. You have to tell me what's going on.
Yeah. And I'm always the same way. It's like, why aren't we talking? What's going on? But, you know.
But I do have a valid point when I say if you want to talk.
Right.
And I will talk.
But the point is, you know, how much are you trusting in God and just, you know, wondering His opinion and opening His Word and wondering what He has to say that's beautiful.
And that's the crazy thing, like Haggai? How the heck do I find that, like, I cannot tell you if I have ever read Haggai.
Yeah.
And because we do this search on Shake, actually the search that I did was Shake because Unshakeable wasn't providing the results I was looking for. So I do this search for Shake, right?
Yeah.
And I haven't even gotten to the Shake part of the book because it's in the 3rd chapter and I'm stuck in the 1st chapter.
Yeah.
Anyway, and God's just telling us what we just went through.
Yeah, and it's like, wow, look at that dilapidated house.
Look at that dilapidated house.
That's what happens to your house when God shakes it up and because He wants you so bad, because He's in love with you, you know.
He just wants to get your attention.
Yeah, we got all these love stories, you know, things that make, you know, your heart feel good, and you're like, whoa, that was quite a story, quite a love story, you know, maybe something on This Is Us or something. But what God is trying to do, He's trying to get your attention and say, that's how I want to be with you.
Right.
That's the love story, is me and you, one-on-one. That's what Jesus made possible.
And like that song that I played behind the message, that, you know, He does. He chases us. He fights for us. He leaves everybody to come find us and bring us home, carry us home, injured, beaten and bruised.
Just like I do for you, Mary.
And just like I do for you, Dave.
And that's a marriage is a perfect example of the way God sees His relationship with the Christian.
But if we don't repair what's broken, we'll never see it.
Yeah. It's almost if you don't, if just like the verse we were looking at.
You have to do the work, right?
Yeah, but the clean heart, you know.
But you have to do the work.
Yeah, there's
to get there.
Yeah, there's definitely work, and maybe that's what either people feel like they don't have time for, or I know for me,
they just don't want to change, David.
Yeah. Well, God's gonna shake it up. He's just got to.
He will.
If they're a Christian, He does. I mean, He's got to shake it up. Because He's in love with every Christian. If they
have ever acknowledged His hand, He will chase them down.
Yeah. And I just picture a shaking of like a mountain shaking, like an earthquake shake, and then these big old boulders just coming off and that's what needs to come off.
All of it.
Yeah.
The big and the little.
Yeah. Because that's the love story. That's the unshakable love that remains, and that's why God has to shake it up, because He can't have that. He can't. He's so in love with us.
And He's jealous for our love.
Yes. He's not mad at us at all.
He wants our attention. He just wants us to pay attention to all these sweet things He's doing every day. He paints. How many hearts have I seen in the last 24 hours in the sky? At least 20. At least.
It's like Jojo, our dog. It's like she does little things, like she'll lick my hand. She's trying to get my attention, you know? Constantly, but not trying to be mean or angry about it. Just little subtle ways.
And what she really wants is just for you to give her a hug and rub her chest.
Yeah. man, you know, I feel like I wasted so many years not understanding that. Like, it's like I studied, I was in the Word of God, went to seminary, all this, and it's like...
And prayed for deliverance
Yeah.
from the things that were holding us back for years.
Yeah. And the truth is, if I would have just ate as much of God as I could and tried to cultivate that relationship with Jesus...
Lived off of His Word.
Yeah, and the key would have been love, 100% love, and
It's
no
what it always
lying,
comes
no
down to.
lies, not lying to myself, not lying, not keeping something from you in my past. Just no lies.
We can't have that.
It's almost like that's when the Spirit comes in and just clean it all up, all the lies, everything, and just. And then Jesus has a place to dwell. In that house that's no longer dilapidated but has been reconstructed and rebuilt and designed with beauty. And that house, God, what did God say He was going to do to that house when it was back to...
When you rebuild my house, I'm gonna get excited. I'm going to shout for joy and feel honored. That's what he